I have this tweet from Interactive Polls 2022. This is interesting. Iowa, DeSantis up 11, Trump down 15. New Hampshire, DeSantis 52 to Trump's 37. Florida, DeSantis 56 to Trump's 30. Georgia, DeSantis 55 to Trump's 35. Are they lying to once again get rid of Trump, or is Ron DeSantis the new star?
Let's try it this way. What would you say the negatives on DeSantis are? Because we can all do negatives on Trump all day long. And we can all do the positives on DeSantis very easily, right? It's pretty much everything. So what would you say the negatives of DeSantis are?
He passed anti-free speech legislation.
The BDS
in
stuff.
Florida, the BDS stuff. I think that's pretty important.
Okay.
What can you explain that?
I'm not that well read on it specifically, so I wouldn't want to talk outside of my expertise, to be honest with you.
It was, so boycott, divest, sanction Israel.
Yeah.
He came out in favor of not allowing that. I think it had to do with universities. But again,
Well, not allowing it as a state actor.
right.
All right. So it sounds like we don't fully understand what it is, but all right, let's.
And that's a fair point.
So
but I'm not even coming out as that as a principal negative for DeSantis, mostly because it's not something I know enough about to criticize him on. Admittedly, we definitely want to make sure we check into something like that because
sure, if he was infringing on any free person's speech, then I would have a problem with it. But the government is allowed to tell government employees what they're allowed to do, something like that. So I would need to know
this
more
was
about this
based in
specific
university and schools, specifically if a school would support or allow someone to criticize or boycott Israel, he would punish the school and take away their funding.
But I think it had to do with
And Donald Trump also had similar points of views and viewpoints that he also supported as well. So it's a Trump DeSantis issue that they stood behind.
I'll put it this way. I think we are all too weakly versed on the issue specifically, but I do think it's important.
But let's even say it was a pretty bad thing. So so that's one.
And to entertain the possibility that there are things we don't like about him that we're not well versed on, I think is a fair point. However, my view of DeSantis is, to be honest, I can't think of a negative. However, when you compare DeSantis to Trump in the event that they go up against, when they're on the stage, Trump is an imposing figure of grandeur who can, the way Milo put it is that when he gets his mojo back, he dominates the stage. He commands, he pushes everyone out, he shuts them down. Now, that is not a policy or a practical advantage. It is a political advantage.
Well, right. So what's interesting about that, so I actually agree with you on that, but he didn't really dominate Biden in the debates. And isn't that bizarre? Yeah. Now knowing the degradation of Biden and how bad he is, and it was obvious he was bad at the time, but he didn't really crush him in those debates. So for some reason, Trump seems to be better when there's multiple people on stage and there's a fray, right? And he can then just sort of hit everybody. But the one-on-one thing was not his thing. But also, if at the end of the day, the biggest weakness is that, yes, is Trump more of a, I'm going to get in the ring with you and say all of the horrible things and dig up all of the evil shit and all of that. To me, I don't know that most people see that as a positive anymore. I think people would actually look at it and be like, wait a minute, Trump, what you're trying to do here is take out the guy who has done absolutely everything right, using just all of the worst tactics. I just don't know that would fly anymore.
I like what you said earlier when we were downstairs in the green room. You said 4D chess by mail. It's the longest game of 4D chess.
Well, that's everything with him is 4D chess. And it's like, okay, guys, are we going to ever, does the game ever end here?
I know a couple days ago I tweeted, oh no, the 4D chess analogies are back online. And I'm just like, I'm so sick of it.
I said 12D. That Trump is so advanced in his chess, he surpassed M theory.
Yeah.
One extra dimension.
You do throw out a tweet every now and again where I have to read it like 6 times. And then I'm like, all right, forget this. I don't know which way he's going on this one. That was one of them. I was like, what is going on here? Is it 12D now? Like, where are we going here?
But Trump also came out a few days ago and says that he has dirt on DeSantis that his wife doesn't even know that he's going to be releasing to the general public. He said this on Fox News.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like,
even if it's true, right? Whatever it is, he cheated on his wife and he did blow off a hooker's ass and like whatever it is.
Normal political behavior.
First off, Trump's done an awful lot of bad stuff. And I just don't think if you're willing to do that now to the guy that's getting everything done, right? It's like, I just don't think that's what Americans want anymore. I think there is a long leash on our personal lives and that we've all done stuff. Trump proved it, right? Trump proved you can sleep with hookers and you can grab them by the pussy and you can do all that stuff and we'll still vote for you. So if his move is, well, DeSantis has done kind of all the policy, right? So I can't get him on that, but I'm going to dig up something to derail him. I think it's going to have more blowback than
And it has,
benefits.
and it has right now, especially with these numbers that Tim is showing. But also, I
Yeah.
would question the numbers because the numbers in the polls have been wrong a lot. But the conversation, in my opinion, should be the anti-establishment versus McCarthy, McConnell. But it's not. It's the anti-establishment versus the anti-establishment wing of the party kind of having a civil war within each other, destroying each other rather than, of course, building and growing and, of course, fighting the bigger fights out there. Fighting themselves and essentially eliminating and destroying any potential of a populist surge that could be there.
Well, to that point, I mean, we don't even know if DeSantis is going to run. I mean, the
Right.
guy loves Florida. Like, I honestly, I know him fairly well now, and I've done a bunch of things with him. Like, the guy freaking loves the state of Florida. He is
a good
born and
place.
bred there. He loves it. Look what he's done there. Like, maybe in part of his head, he's like, hey, I'm 44 years old. I got this beautiful young family. Like, I'm riding high right now. Maybe my life is to just fortify the place that I love and do great things there. Like, we don't know what his plans
But
are.
when he was asked directly, he gave a
Yeah.
perfect political answer, not answering the question,
You're talking
avoiding
about the-
it.
you're talking about the one at
during
the debate.
during the debate as governor, which made it seem exactly like he's going to be running, like any politician would.
So let me give you some insider context on that. I was actually at the debate, and right before the cameras started, they announced to the crowd that was in the room, they said the candidates have agreed and signed a document saying that they will not ask each other questions. So when DeSantis just stood there,
Yep.
it was because he was honoring what they signed. Charlie Crist has no morals and or anything else. So Charlie Crist knew exactly what he was doing. That's not to say DeSantis shouldn't have had a better response.
He should have just said no.
Well, he should have. Well, or he could have said, "Hey, Charlie, we actually just signed something that said we're not going to do that. Do you have any morals? Do you have any?"
We talked about it when it happened. We did the math on it. There's no upside to doing anything other than saying no.
Right.
If he said, are you going to run for president, or what he said was, are you going to commit to finishing
Right.
out your term as governor? DeSantis could have went, yes, I do. Thanks, Charlie. Have a nice day.
And just end it. Yeah.
Because if in the event in the future things change, he can say something like, I know I vowed to be here for the state of Florida, but I decided I can be. As the president of the United States, I can do more for Florida and for the rest of this country, and I will make sure that Florida stays true, stays with my heart, and I will always be there
I think
for
that
you.
advice probably would have been better than to. He sort of did just freeze in the moment, but he was trying to honor the agreement that they had just signed, and that's the problem when you play with one guy that has rules.
You know what Trump would have done?
What would Trump have done?
If he was asked, are you going to honor your commitment to be governor? Trump would have been like, I thought we agreed we weren't going to ask each other questions. When did you stop beating your wife, Charlie?
Yeah, exactly.
He would have done something like that.
And look,
everyone
that
would
would
have busted
have
out
worked.
laughing.
That would have worked in the debate context. So
Right.
your point basically is that even if DeSantis has everything right, and let's just say minimal downside, it's like he might get just crushed in the theater of the thing.
that is, but
It
think
is possible. It is possible.
Imagine, it's really crazy. I was watching, we're playing music videos downstairs in the green room. We have that voice activated TV that you didn't like.
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
I've been screaming about this. I was like, the CIA's listening every single day.
Yeah. How
when
are
I poop.
you, Tim Pool, of all people, you're talking to your Google television? What?
It's one TV in the whole house that I don't know
One
where it came
TV in
from.
the
One
room
TV.
that 20 of you were standing and coming up with your plans to take over the
Anyway.
government.
He had
More
Alexis.
TVs right
He had
here.
Alexis before. I was like, what are you doing?
Is there one over here?
Alexa, stop.
Okay.
It just activated a
Anyway,
bunch.
my
Alexa,
point
tell
was,
the CIA off.
When we play the music videos, these political ads would pop up where they're just lying, and it's the
Yeah.
craziest lies I've ever heard. And I'm just thinking to myself, how do they get away with saying things that are so? Look, I get it. You can have your opinion in politics, and it's hard. You've got Times v. Sullivan defamation precedent and stuff. But when you come outright and be like, my opponent said X and he didn't, it's just kind of a crazy thought. I'm just like, you know what I want to see? Just look, Republicans, if you're going to win right now, you can do two things. You can play the game of lies, or you can offer $15,000 to everybody who votes for you, like Joe Biden did, basically. But I'm imagining you go up on stage and play the game. Are you going to stay and commit to being governor? When did you stop beating your wife? When did you stop touching your children? You want to play games? Let's ask. I didn't say he did. I asked him when he stopped. That's the level of politics, right? And people will immediately believe it, even though you didn't say he did. You can say, when did you stop stealing from the local grocery store?
So in a way, you're making an anti-Trump argument, I think, because your argument basically is he could open. Maybe he sort of did this, and it needed to happen the first time, but he might open up the gates of hell here. right? Like if it gets to the two of them and it's like DeSantis is winning on policy and, he feels fresher and it's right and there's a track record, but Trump is willing to do the craziest shit known to man, which I think we would all agree he would do. And again, I voted for the guy and right. So that says something about humanity, I suppose.
It does.
Yeah,
and it's
something very dark.
Ben Shapiro, he says facts don't care about your feelings. Quite assuredly he does, and he gets 100,000+ retweets on Twitter. He pins it, and all of the conservatives smugly pat each other on the back in their victory of how smart they are. In reality, but they're not wrong. They're not wrong. But I say this rather derisively because feelings don't care about your facts. And you can come out and say, well, if Joe Biden were to shut down the Keystone Pipeline, it would cause speculative drive, meaning the investors and the traders are going to realize supply won't meet demand in the coming years because the pipeline was shut down and thus prices will increase. So they invest now, causing an early price increase. Yeah. And the average person goes, huh? And then Joe Biden comes out and goes, look at here, man, I'm going to give you $10,000, put it in your pocket. Come on, man. And they go, well, $10,000 sounds pretty good. I'll vote for him. Keep it simple, make it understandable. Donald Trump gets on a debate stage with Ron DeSantis, and Ron says, in the great state of Florida, we kept our businesses open. We saw our economy improve. Unemployment went down. And Trump's going to go, well, I think you're ugly. And everyone's going to go, woo, and start clapping and cheering.
I know. And I think personally, I'm just past that part. And that may be where we're at. Like, I think we need enough. How about it something like this? I think we just need more adults in the room. I think too many of us have just let go of that part of ourselves in a way, did not want to confront all of the scary, mean things out there. And maybe we just need a little more of Jordan Peterson, like stand up straight with your shoulders back and just not be part of the slow descent to hell.
I think that's true. I'm wondering if anyone could get into the presidency and not get assassinated acting like Kennedy. Be like, the CIA, I'm uncovering it all. They know where the guy lives. Like, so is it more of a local adulthood that you're trying to create?
Well, I think DeSantis could. Like, I don't want any of these guys to get assassinated, even the ones I don't like. But, I think that there is room for a sane, competent person. I think if we had a sane, competent person as president, and we do not have a sane, competent person right now in Joe Biden, if we had someone who people believed he believed what he was saying and was roughly honest and things kind of worked, I think people would let go of so much of the other shit happening in society right now. But right now, we know, it's what you just said. We know everything is a lie everywhere, constantly. Everything that they say is misinformation, usually is truth. All the good guys are the bad guys. The bad guys are good guys. So people are willing to do anything.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.